went burst in the early half today as court scatter as DSS did not expect what happened and what transpired in court few hours ago amidst the trial of Nnamdi Kanu. They think it's always the game that have been happening right from time. They think it is how the court have been making ruling and they will not follow the ruling and they will still do otherwise. But the game changed few hours ago. Nnamdi Kanu is finally going back to the Biafra people. So let's get to stay connected to the end of this video. Big thanks to Peter Obi and everybody that supported Nnamdi Kanu. So if you can share this video, do it to share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. Something tragic happened. I'm going to play you the video. In this very video, you will see the secret of everything that happened and why Nnamdi Kanu is going home. Tinubu is finally setting him free. So if you can share the video, share it, and if you can share it, just like it, give the thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again with the video.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now. It makes sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG TV. For those of you coming across the channel for the very first time, ensure you click the registration button appearing on your video screen and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. A lot of things happening in the political space right now and which a lot of people know everything that is ongoing, but there are some secrets and hidden places regarding the detaining of Nnamdi Kanu. The reason why they kept him in detention since all these days, you know, it's very obvious now that the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is very illegal because the court have been granted the release of Nnamdi Kanu in several occasions. The court have been making rulings that Nnamdi Kanu should be released, but the DSS never allowed this man to go. They are taking order from nowhere. I've never seen a situation where there's a country that practices democracy and they have rule of law, and there are some people that are making order that is bigger than the court order and all of that. But in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, it is happening now. There are some people that are giving order after the court gives order that they should release him. Some people will give order in the Aso Rock chamber that they must not release him. Nobody knows where the voices are actually coming from, but the secret of everything is exposed in this video. So I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. You will hear everything yourself. It will shock Talize the Tinubu is ready to allow Nnamdi Kanu to go, but amidst all the suffering that this man have encountered in DSS custody, you will see show in this very video. I will play you everything. What happened in court today, you will see everything for yourself. And the reason why Nnamdi Kanu Jubilate few hours ago alongside with the IPOB leader and elders and the Biafra people in court today, the Jubilate alongside with Peter Obi himself. You will hear everything in this video and you will see it. So if you can share this video, do it to share to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like it as you're watching it, like it, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. It is very obvious that Nnamdi Kanu did not like Peter Obi. He did not want to have anything to do with Peter Obi, and before his arrest, he has said all sorts of things regarding Peter Obi. He called Peter Obi a gay, he called Peter Obi a thief, he called Peter Obi different names, he called Peter Obi a murderer that he feeds on the blood of his people and all of that. Just because Peter Obi said some things to him in the cause that he was trying to make peace among the Igbos and Nigeria and all of that, but Nnamdi Kanu is against such. That is why I always fight in wars with Peter Obi, and Peter Obi never give any negative reaction regarding Nnamdi Kanu. And even when they arrested Nnamdi Kanu, Peter Obi went to visit him in the DSS custody in cause of the election time, but Nnamdi Kanu chased him away as if he was chasing dog and all of that. He never want to have anything to do with Peter Obi because he have laid causes on ground that no Igbo person should vote in cause of the last election, the 2023 election. Not even talk of becoming a flag bearer of a party and all of that. So Nnamdi Kanu did not want to see Peter Obi. Even when Peter Obi visited him in DSS custody, he was thinking that Peter Obi is coming there so that he can help him to talk to his people to cast vote for him in the eastern part of Nigeria. Now, something tragic happened a few years ago. A post came out and it was through Vanguard. They said the IPOB media team, they make out a publication. They said Peter Obi is having hand in Nnamdi Kanu detention in DSS custody. And mind you, Peter Obi visited Nnamdi Kanu in court before and even addressed the press that they should allow Nnamdi Kanu to go, that the detention of Nnamdi Kanu is illegal, that the government should allow him to go. Peter Obi had been one of the agitators of Nnamdi Kanu, and you know, they said all sorts of things regarding Peter Obi, but Peter Obi did not make any comment regarding everything that they said. They said Peter Obi wrote to the Attorney General allegedly that Peter Obi did all sorts of things just to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu remained in the custody of the DSS. But come and see show in the court today, the people that are behind behind the detention of Nnamdi Kanu, they are finally exposed in court today. And you know, there are 5 officials according to this video. There are 5 government officials, and these people, whenever the ruling of Nnamdi Kanu is approaching, whenever they want to take Nnamdi Kanu to court, few days before the day, these people will instigate violence in the eastern part of Nigeria, and the government will be linking everything back to Nnamdi Kanu. That is the IPOB people that are inciting violence in the eastern part of Nigeria. You know, it is normally known that insecurities in the eastern part of Nigeria, and there are a lot of killings that is ongoing. There are a lot of killings that is ongoing. There are kidnappings, and there are a lot of things, burning of properties and all of that. Everything is ongoing in the eastern part of Nigeria. But Nnamdi Kanu made it known to the general public that it is the government officials. Some government officials are responsible for all this violence that are inciting the eastern part of Nigeria, that they never want him to go. He said they should allow him to go just in 2 minutes. All the killings and all the kidnappings and all the violence that is ongoing, all the insecurity that is ongoing in the eastern part of Nigeria, everything will stop within 2 minutes. They should release him. He said they are intentionally keeping him in the custody so that he will not go and stop all those violence that is ongoing and all those insecurity things, because they are actually making money from it. Now, people that are responsible for it are finally be addressed in court today, and that is the video I want to show you in this very video, and that is why they are granting the bail of Nnamdi Kanu few hours ago. Now, I'd like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share it, and if you can share it, just like it, you watch the video, I will leave you to watch it. I'm coming back again.
Well, the pronouncement of various courts have shown that the charges being brought against Nnamdi Kanu by the federal government should not be sustained and could not be sustained. And it looks like the federal government themselves know that the charges they are bringing against Nnamdi Kanu are essentially trumped up. And that is why they have been fishing for evidence. In 2017, when he was arrested, the government could not, in 2015, the government could not take him to court, and they kept him in incarceration in unlawful detention for 2 years until 2017, when he was granted bail. And when he was granted bail in 2017, the same government became judiciary and went to attack his house in 2020 by the soldiers, who now went to his house before, almost killed him before he ran away for his dear life. And the same government illegally, extraordinarily rendered him back to Nigeria from Kenya. So you can see that everything that government has been doing with respect to Nnamdi Kanu has been anchored on illegality and the breach of the fundamental rights of the citizen and the breach of the provisions of Nigerian law. Many courts of law, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, superior courts of law and even the court of appeal, had asked the government to let Nnamdi Kanu go, and even if they are going to continue the prosecution, they should allow him to come into court from his house. Now it seems that Nnamdi Kanu is being persecuted instead of prosecuted, and that is why we can never stop asking government to do what is right, because any country without the rule of law is a banana republic and does not represent human environment. What Nigeria is doing with Nnamdi Kanu does not represent humanity, neither does it represent respect for life of the citizen, neither does it represent respect for the courts and the constitution. So whatever government is doing, government must be very careful. The government of President Muhammad Buhari did all sorts of things against Nnamdi Kanu, and we expect that with the new sheriff in town under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a Democrat of repute, we expect and will continue to plead with the president to deploy democracy and ensure that Nnamdi Kanu is released from illegal, I use the word illegal because the court has said so, from illegal detention.
Barrister Fred Nzakoy, speaking on his extraordinary rendition, some critics, including yourself, have condemned it as illegal. Some have also condemned the manner his legal representative have handled this case thus far. Would you say they can do better than they're currently doing? Do they need to spotlight his extraordinary rendition again as a basis to show the seeming illegality perpetrated against him by the federal government?
When we use the word extraordinary rendition, the people should understand what it means in layman's language. Yes, it might sound bogus, but the meaning of extraordinary rendition in a layman's language means illegal kidnap by government. Of course, you may not say that government involves in kidnapping, If it was done by an ordinary individual or a citizen, it will be called kidnapping. But when the government does kidnapping, it is called extraordinary rendition. Because what it means is that he was apprehended against all due laws and all due processes and brought back to Nigeria without following due process of such extradition. Because for you to bring a citizen from one country to another, you must follow what is called extradition treaty and follow all the due processes of extradition. And when you now undermine due processes of extradition, it amounts to unlawful kidnap. And that is what is called extraordinary rendition. I believe the government would have done better by asking that the due process of formal extradition be observed instead of resorting to illegality in terms of extraordinary rendition, which took place under President Muhammadu Buhari.
All right, based on judicial precedent and the way the judiciary has handled Nnamdi Kanu's case up to this point, do you see him being granted bail or even discharged and acquitted of these terrorism charges?
Well, based on judicial precedents, we expect that the Court of Appeal, which is a superior court relative to the High Court, the Court of Appeal had made a pronouncement, a copious one, a very solid one that had not been appealed against, by saying that Nnamdi Kanu should be released, at least on bail, even if not completely released. But the court even said that he should be completely released because what government did by extraordinarily rendering him back to Nigeria was an illegality. And you cannot be trying somebody based on illegality committed by the state. Where the state committed an illegality, the state has removed itself or stripped itself of that legal capacity to continue to try Nnamdi Kanu, because what the state has done was an illegality. Now, the trial itself can be said to be an illegality because in law, you cannot build something on nothing and expect it to stand. What the government is doing today by trying to try Nnamdi Kanu is trying him based on an illegal rendition, and that is why the court has copiously made such pronouncements that he should be released. Now, judicial president, High Court should follow the pronouncement of Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal has said so, and for High Court to reject the pronouncement of Court of Appeal undermines the precedents set by the judicial system, and that is on its own a breach.
So the Nigerian courts are more or less contradicting themselves.
Pardon me?
Barrister Nzako, I'm saying so. The Nigerian judicial system is more or less contradicting itself.
No, the judicial system is not contradicting itself. Rather, we can call it judicial rascality or abuse of judicial process.
Now, this would involve judges and lawyers. Why are those people not answering for these corrupt practices?
Those are the problems that we see in Nigeria, where some people feel that they are above the law. And we cannot continue to build a democratic society by disobedience of lawful orders of court. The orders of court must be obeyed. 9 courts in the world, 4 out of the 9 from Nigeria, have said that Nnamdi Kanu should be released. I mean, what else does government expect other than to obey the laws of the land? For every government that swears to protect the laws of the land, protect our constitution, such a government should obey the courts. And that is where that is the whole tenet of democracy and civil rule.
All right, we'll bring more update on Nnamdi Kanu as he goes to court today. Let's move on to the issue of a Rivers State debacle. It's one that has escalated into violence yesterday. There was a lot of shooting. With the deteriorating state of Rivers democracy, would you say Governor Fubara is fully in charge, even with his appointment of caretaker committee to oversee the local government affairs rather than conducting local government elections?
What is going on in Rivers State is a shame on democracy. Is a terrible charade which should ordinarily not take place. And the issues have not only snowballed from legal issues now to issues of political rascality. The people who were the chairman of local governments in Rivers State, they were elected and for a tenured position. Tenured in the sense that as at the time they were taking oath of office, they knew when their tenure would terminate. At the termination of their tenure, naturally they were expected to vacate office. Anybody who seeks to extend such tenure is only acting in the illegality. And that's what we keep talking about, that politicians should learn to respect the law. It is the same law that brings everybody to conform. It is the same law that gives anybody the authority to act in any political office. It is the same law that requires to be respected. Now, if the tenure of those chairmen of local government had expired, how on earth would they want to extend or to stay in office beyond the day of their expiration? So it was natural that they should go. And in the absence of any other election to replace them, nature allows no vacuum, so does politics, and governance allows no vacuum. So the caretaker committee members should be appointed by the governor. That is his right and authority. And he will now begin to prepare for the next election to people that will be chairman of local government. The act by Martin Amewele committee that sought to extend the tenure of those local government is an affront on democracy and a committal of illegality which should not be tolerated by anybody that is reasonable and sensible.
You spoke about Martin Amewele, who is one of the factional speakers in the House of Assembly. There are currently 2 House of Assembly factions and 2 speakers, but only one is recognized by the governor. How can the state come to an impasse to forestall the free fall of the democratic institution that seems to be happening in River State?
There is no faction in the River State Assembly. There is only one River State Assembly. Martin Amewele and his men are no longer members of River State House of Assembly. It is there, it is open, it is obvious. And what they are now doing is to force themselves on the people when they have already by themselves surrendered their positions by way of resignation on account of the provisions of the Constitution. We must respect the laws of our land. It does not matter if there are only 4 or 5 people that are legitimately members of the House of Assembly. It really does not matter. All this bragado and all this brawl and flexing of muscles does not come within the contemplation of the law. Neither does it help our democratic ideals. What we expect is that they should plead with the court to fast track the processes of their application before the court, whether they will come back to the seat or not. And then if eventually they have finally lost their seat by virtue of the court's pronouncement at the appellate and possibly Supreme Court level, then INEC will conduct election and replace those seats. But as far as law and order and the constitution is concerned, Martin Amewele and the 26 others are no longer members of Rivers House of Assembly. So there's nothing like a faction. If anybody is talking about faction, Amewele faction and the other faction, such a person does not understand the provisions of the law. And maybe the person just wants to be politically correct in his own eyes or by his own estimation. As far as the law is concerned, they are no longer members of the House.
So basically, the speaker is the one recognized by the governor, and that's Okojumbo.
Well, it is the one not only recognized by the governor, recognized by the law. The governor has no option than to recognize those who the law has recognized. The governor himself has sworn to an oath to protect and defend the law and the Constitution and defend and protect the democracy. So if the law has said that those are the members of the House to be recognized by the law, of course every person should recognize them. Those who are no longer members of the House should find a way to fast track their process and then either come back by way of another election or go and find something else to do.
There have been allegations of sponsored violence against Governor Fubara by the outgone chairman based on what happened in the state yesterday. Do you think the governor would actually stoop so low as to encourage violence against his opponent?
The governor, as the leader of the state, should do everything possible to avoid violence from any corner. And those, even not only the governor, all the political leaders of River State must talk to their supporters and their acolytes and their hangers on to eschew violence and ensure that there is respect for rule of law and River State should not go up in flames of violence, because we should all submit ourselves. They should all submit themselves to the dictates of the law through judicial process. It may take a while, but it will surely come. Resort to self-help will do nobody any good, and it will do River State as a state no good. So everybody must conform to the law and submit to adjudication of the court, and make sure that there is no violence in any way, manner, or form.
Just before you go, Barrister Nzako, I'd like to go back to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu. About 5 days ago, his special counsel, Lawyer Ejimako, came out to claim that some criminals are trying to stop his release, and that these forces, they try to influence the presidency and the court to stop his release. In fact, they said that these criminal elements, they will spike up insecurity in the southeast whenever Kanu's court case is approaching, to make it look as if he has a hand in it. Now, he's not just the one. Ohaneze Ndigbo has also come out to say that there are some southeast political actors and governors who have been talking and making, not just making plans, but actually large efforts to stop his release. Is this something that you see being true?
Well, if Mr. Ejimako, who is very close to Nnamdi Kanu and is his legal counsel, if he makes such assertion and alleges that some people are frustrating and blocking the release of Nnamdi Kanu, he should be certain of what he's saying, and he should be bold enough to name the names so that people will know who are the enemies of freedom and the enemies of democracy. Because we are no longer talking about only Nnamdi Kanu alone. We are talking about democracy in Nigeria, which is anchored on freedom and anchored on respect for rule of law and respect for fundamental rights of the citizen. Yes, Nnamdi Kanu is a victim of such breach of fundamental rights of the citizen, and anybody who is part and parcel of such breach must be called out and shamed, in a manner of speaking. But it is important that Mr. Ejimako should be very certain about what he's saying, so that he does not fly unnecessary kite or blow hot air that will lead to nothing. I can tell you that what is most important and critical at this point is that Mr. Nnamdi Kanu gains his freedom, so that he will contribute his own large share of bringing peace to Southeast region and by extension to Nigeria in general. Nigeria needs peace and healing at this time, especially with our economic doldrum and the terrible economic quagmire we find ourselves. It is important that everything that will bring peace should be upheld, and everything that will bring development, much needed development, to assuage the sufferings and bring better life and better living for Nigerian people should be encouraged. So while Mr. Ejimako will be working on his own side, it is important that the security agencies should do what is expected of them and ensure that there is peace, not only in the southeast but in Nigeria. And government on their own side must look at the political issues. People have suggested about deployment of political situation or political negotiation for release of Nnamdi Kanu. I do not see reason why the president of Nigeria should be left off the hook on account of the presentation of normal prosecution by the Honorable Attorney General and Commission for Justice, while Nnamdi Kanu, who has been asked to go by various courts, will not be let off the hook. I think it is double standard, and it is a clear manifestation of injustice in our political environment.
Well, finally, Barrister, talking about he's been let go, I want to cast your mind back to about 2 weeks ago when members of Nnamdi Kanu's legal team submitted a full list of judgment in his matter to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Now, this judgment were both from domestic and international courts directing the release of the IPOB leader. The leader of his legal counsel said the decision to forward all this pronouncement was to respond to the statement credited to the Attorney General of the Federation, who said he was not aware of Kanu's case and that his fate will be resolved by the court. Why is it taking so long? Even with these 9 judgments that have been submitted, why would the AGF said he's not aware of it? Would you say that there is a political hanky-panky going on in this Nnamdi Kanu's case? Political and legal hanky-panky?
It's as good as mine, and I'm sure that our dear listeners would have made up their mind and their opinion as to what is going on, whether it was political hanky-panky or an extension of injustice. the Honorable Attorney General had made a statement that he did not know about Nnamdi Kanu, and there was a lot of hue and cry that such a high-ranking intelligence officer would make such a statement, and that was what prompted the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu to go and assemble in one compendium all the judicial pronouncements and orders and judgments of various courts, both locally and internationally, asking Nnamdi Kanu be released. And it was presented to his table. So he can no longer claim ignorance of those facts. Now, the Lady Attorney General must have taken not only judicial notice, but critical notice of those pronouncements of the courts. And there is no way he will say he doesn't know what to do. What people now are suspecting is that those who have ensured that Nnamdi Kanu has been kept in detention have not allowed the Attorney General to enter a nolle prosequi on his behalf. But I can tell you that that is the very best thing that the current administration should do.
All of you are here today. I hope you cover the entire proceedings. It's not the truncated version, but the whole thing. It's very important that you cover everything. I want you to understand that because IPOB was founded on a non-violent principle, and we maintain that to continue this very day. And everything, of course, and some of these soldiers, we are told, are also our people. Is that correct? Yes. And the family is now in mourning. Yes. So all the making of young widows is condemned in its entirety. I don't want it. I don't want anybody to die. Yes. We are fighting for freedom. Then how can we fight for them at the same time? It's not possible. We want people to be free. That's what we're fighting for. Nothing more. We've suffered a lot in Africa. I don't know if you know that. Africans have suffered from slavery in Arabia to slavery in Europe to slavery in America. So I think we should focus our time and devote it towards making sure that this continent stands up to what God promised it is going to be. And that's why we're doing what we are doing.
Thank you. Let's pass.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything that was said in this very video. You can hear what Nnamdi Kanu himself said. You know, this man had been on it and he made it not to the general public few hours ago. He said the government should release him, that he himself is against insecurity. He himself is against killings, that he can't be fighting for the freedom of his people and at the same time fighting for the killing of his people and all of that. He said he himself is against killing that is ongoing in the eastern part of Nigeria. He said if they should release him, he released that video few days ago, and now he's releasing this one also that is against all the killing. The one he released few days ago, that was where he spoke about the fact that there are some government officials that are responsible and they are seeing dividends from the insecurity that is ongoing in eastern part of Nigeria, that they are actually seeing big money from the kidnapping and from all the insecurity. That is why they are keeping him in detention. They are doing everything possible to keep him in detention so that he will not come out to stop all the insecurity thing that is ongoing there, because they know that if you should come out and stop it, the money will not be flowing to them again. That was what Nnamdi Kanu himself said. And now you can hear from what these people are actually saying in the radio that I just finished watching. You know, they made it not to the general public that there are some people, five government officials that are responsible and they are doing everything possible to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu remain in DSS detention. They are doing everything possible for DSS to hold him back so that he will not be released, because once they say that the date of the ruling in court of Nnamdi Kanu is approaching, they will just instigate violence in the eastern part of Nigeria, and once they instigate the violence, the government will be dating it down back to Nnamdi Kanu, that Nnamdi Kanu Ipob people are the one responsible for the violence that is ongoing. They will just kill some good number of people and they will think it is Nnamdi Kanu people that are actually doing it. So for them to now release Nnamdi Kanu, they will be leveraging on the fact that no, they should release Nnamdi Kanu, the thing will be worse in the eastern part of Nigeria. The insecurity thing will be worse, and Nnamdi Kanu will castrate the occasion. They said that is why they are holding Nnamdi Kanu back, because since he's not outside and all this violence is happening, what if he's outside? And Nnamdi Kanu have made it known to the general public that these people are doing everything possible to hold him back. Now the court have finally vowed to investigate those government 5 officials that are responsible for the violence that is being instigated and being incited in the eastern part of Nigeria, so as to free Nnamdi Kanu and leave him of all these charges that is leveraged against him. That is why a lot of Biafrans are happy today, and they're jubilating that yes, the matter is coming to an end, because the court never want to see to it before. The court never want to believe it before, that there are some people that are responsible for the violence. They were thinking it's Nnamdi Kanu, but now they finally believe it. Now they want to investigate them. That's why a lot of IPOB people are very happy today, because his detention in the DSS custody is illegal. For the court to have made ruling in several occasions, it is not once, it's not twice, it's not 3 times that the court have made ruling that they should allow Nnamdi Kanu to go, but they did not allow this man to go. I've never seen a country that is very unlawful as Nigeria, where the court, the judicial system of the country, will make a ruling in the court and they will not do according to what the court said. They will still do otherwise, and they will still take them back to the same court again, and the court cannot penalize them on the disrespect they are having for the law. They can't penalize them for the ruling that was made and they go against the ruling. DSS are doing everything possible to ensure that Nnamdi Kanu remain in the custody, and this guy, according to report, is not seeing a good health care in the DSS custody, and is a victim of a lot of sicknesses and all of that. And that was what Nnamdi Kanu lawyer have been saying right from time. Now they said they should grant the bail of Nnamdi Kanu. At least if they want to be prosecuting him, they should first of all grant his bail, then he can go home, then he can be coming to court from home. You can see what they did to Kubana Chief Priest. After the FCC accused him of naira mutilation, they allowed him to go home. They granted him bail of 10 million, and once they granted the bail, he is coming from home to court, so the ruling is still continuing. The prosecution and all of that, the trial still continues. Now he's coming from home. The same thing is what everybody is asking for the government, that they should allow Nnamdi Kanu to go home. If at all they want to continue the prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu, he should be coming from home. It is unlawful to keep him in DSS detention for over 2 years now, and nothing is happening. The federal government is not saying anything regarding it. They shun it, they did as if nothing is happening, and the people keep agitating that Nnamdi Kanu should go, including Peter Obi himself. He never rests. He's aspiring that they should release Nnamdi Kanu and let him go home, so that they can be making their prosecution from home. Then he will go to court from home, then we go back home and all of that. And that is how it's been done in every other country. We don't really know the reason why the case of Nnamdi Kanu is different in Nigeria. And Nigeria government must stop this rascality of denying people of their fundamental human rights. We've heard cases of a lot of people that are in DSS detention. The DSS will adopt them. Those ones are not arrested. They will adopt them, and their family members will not know that they are in the DSS custody. We've heard cases of those people like that. We heard some cases recently where they arrested someone for over 2 years in the DSS custody, and the person remained in the DSS custody, and the DSS begin to carry the person up and down. And if the people are asking the DSS for their people, the DSS will tell them that they are not in their custody and all of that. We heard cases of it recently of an Igbo guy. The DSS arrested him, and the families have been looking for this guy, not knowing that he was in DSS custody. And so they're asking for the person now. The DSS said it's not in their custody, and it's over 2 years now. They said it's not in their custody, and this same person in question, they find it to DSS custody. They couldn't find the person again, and it is the person that they were in the DSS cell together and was later released. That was the person that came out to make the public announcement that the DSS adopt so, and they never released the person till now. And when they asked the DSS said he had been transferred from their cell, he's no more in their place again and all of that. Where did they transfer him to? Nobody knows, and they denied that person of the human rights. Nobody knows, maybe the person is even dead now, all of that. So everybody is looking out for the fact that that's the same thing they want to do to Nnamdi Kanu, so that he will just one day die in the DSS custody. And a lot of Igbos have been agitating. They said if anything should happen to Nnamdi Kanu in that DSS custody, since they don't want to allow him to go home, if anything to just happen to him, Nigeria will go down. That was what a lot of people are actually saying. I say no to violence, but the government should do what they ought to do. They should follow the rule of law and release Nnamdi Kanu. Then from home, he can be doing his prosecution thing and all of that. They can be trying him from home. Then we'll be going to court from home. So what do you guys think? Drop a opinion in the comment section on this video, as I'm going to get that one for you. And sure, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys. See you in my next video. Bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor where the line on top, be pastor. For LAJUPOG Watch TV. Pastor where the back, where politician where the do pass himself. For leader, why you waiting for church? All as LAJUPOG Watch TV.